just find the world to be richer when I'm listening and finding the parts that are beautiful. My name is Stephen Vitiello. I'm a sound artist. I work in academia, I teach, but I've never thought like an academic. I've never learned technology properly, but I have so many years of experience. I've collaborated with incredible artists. We're in the historic Pump House in Richmond, Virginia. I've come here a couple times to do sound recordings, kind of like a steampunk palace. It's this beautiful space that's closed off to the public that once supplied water to the city of Richmond. I love the acoustics, I love the location. The first time I ever came here, the person who opened up the building said, listen to the water. People have always said that there's voices in the water. It reverberates with a kind of history and a sense of stepping back in time that's always moving. Generally, there's an immediate feeling, there's an emotional feeling, and then I start trying to apply thoughts on what a technical process will be. You know, like a photographer who brings various lenses, I'll bring different microphones. Kind of like film, I'll start from a distance, I'll move in. I had a space in the World Trade Center for 6 months. I was there at all hours of the day, would listen through the windows. During Hurricane Floyd, which was the second strongest hurricane to hit New York in the decade, the morning after it peaked, we could get in, and it was the first time I ever walked in and could hear the building without my microphones, where I could hear the sway, I could hear the creak and the crack. And it was beautiful and it was terrifying. Sometimes I think of it like a divining rod or a dowsing rod, like I'm looking for the energy or I'm looking for that moment where everything starts to vibrate. And it's not so intellectual, it's just there's an internal instinct that happens and I try to follow it. When you listen to the ripple of water, there is this, there's a whole lot of room for imagination. There may be voices in there, but I listen to see what I can hear and what I might make use of. And maybe it's coming out of punk rock that I learned to trust a kind of DIY aesthetic, with the fact that what happens in the moment, what I feel in the moment is hopefully the best I can offer. Hopefully it's authentic. It's not always good, but sometimes it's good. These field recordings, I've used them in electronic music pieces, in ambient pieces, and collaborations with classical musicians. Sometimes there's just a moment where I need a little bit of grit, or there's something historically about that sound that feels relevant to the composition or the concept. If I'm here, I'm really just gathering sound, and then it's more how stream becomes part of the process once I go into the studio. Stream is one of the many apps or plugins that I really love using. I mean, I'm thinking about it because it can cut up sound into the smallest of pieces. I'll take a sound and I'll play it through various devices, hardware, software, listen to what the sound is and what can be manipulated. So stream may play a foregrounded role, it may play some very, very, very subtle background. As I'm sending sounds through the app, and something will catch and I'll grab it in a loop and just focus in on it tighter and tighter and tighter and start to move a little to the right, a little bit to the left. And what's beautiful to me may be not to somebody else. There's details that I may not have imagined were there, even with great microphones, with great headphones. There was a clarity of sound, but the stream allows me to start bringing that sound either into a new clarity or a totally new distortion because of often it's like a little accident. It's a mic drop, or it's a nail dropping in the distance, and that's what I'll grab onto with the software and create a rhythm from or create a texture from. I think when we start to listen, the world becomes more interesting and richer. When I teach, I tell students that the most important thing I'm asking them to do in this semester is to listen. That, yes, we'll learn microphones, yes, we'll learn software, will edit, but the most important thing that they're going to walk away with is the fact that they listen more carefully. They never believe me, but it's always true.